Our government had a choice after the tragedy of September 11th: respond with fairness and justice, or respond from a place of fear. It chose fear, and we've been paying the price ever since. In the days after the attacks, I know so many others, we hoped desperately that this country would make wise choices, that it would meet violence with justice and a commitment to fundamental rights. You see, too often in American history, political leaders respond to traumatic events by clamping down on our rights and liberties, and only come to regret it after terrible human costs. So that September, I remember feeling some hope mixed with great trepidation as I listened to President Bush addressing the press after a visit to an Islamic center in Washington, D.C. He said, "This is a great country. It's a great country because we share the same values of respect and dignity and human worth.
Respect and dignity and human worth."
I've thought about that a lot. Where did that human worth go when our government set up a nationality-based registry for 10 years and tore apart Muslim families and communities? When it tortured detainees and locked them away for years without charge or trial? When it passed the Patriot Act and began mass suspicionless surveillance of our private communications? When it wrongly put Americans on watch lists? When it launched forever wars and created a program of secretive, unaccountable, unlawful killing, even outside of war zones in multiple parts of the world? Together, we resisted many of those abuses, and some have ended, but too many have not. So 20 years later, we have another choice to make. Continue on a path grounded in war-based policies that destroy the lives of Black, brown, and Muslim people here at home and abroad, or try something new, something that reflects our best aspirations for ourselves and each other.
America is a fundamentally good country, but the structures of power that exist are working to their own ends at the expense of the freedom of all publics.
We need our political leaders to invest in our collective security, in racial justice, and in our fundamental rights. We've already started to have those conversations, especially around policing. We must keep going, because the system we have now is corrosive. Think of the Trump administration's militarized response to the racial justice protests last summer, or its disgraceful Muslim ban.
Muslims are welcome here.
Those responses stole directly from the post-9/11 national security script. It has to end. President Biden can begin to right these wrongs by ending the policies that hurt us, that have never served our needs and will not serve our future. Here's how. He needs to close Guantanamo and end indefinite military detention once and for all. He also needs to end the program of extrajudicial killing, often through drones, of people outside of recognized war zones. We cannot kill our way to peace and security. He needs to support federal legislation that will end privacy-violating mass surveillance. And he needs to tell his administration to end bias-based profiling by federal law enforcement, because we need to protect our communities of color from agencies that have for so long seen us through a security threat lens. But it's not all on Biden. You and I have a job too. We must push our political leaders to dismantle this old architecture, repair the damage done, and put in place the changes we need to see. That's what makes us truly courageous and strong. The country we want must ground security for everyone in human rights, equality, dignity, and accountability, in action as well as words. Because 20 years of this...
The battle is now joined on many fronts.
So-called no-fly list.
They are building these profiles of where Muslims live.
Guantanamo at this stage is an unmitigated disaster.
Come on, fire!
may not be making Americans any safer.
It's called protecting America.
It's a photographer.
We tortured some folks. We did some things that were wrong.
Is 20 years too many?